The voice inside of your heart and your head, you know it. Talk you through how these days I Hello, my name is Gina Sims. I'm the founder of the Autism Theater Project, and today I'm speaking with Darrell. He is 20 years old and he is a filmmaker and he is on the autism spectrum. Darrell's going to talk a little bit more about himself.
Hello there. My name is Darrell, and as Gina said, I'm 20 years old and I am a filmmaker here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I am also an actor. So the film that I'm currently working on is a little bit of a top secret one for right now until I get a trailer out. But for those who do follow me on Instagram at Darrell's Wonderland, you will know that it is some sort of film, but I have not given any more details as far as that. I'm going to college at CCAC, which is Community College for Allegheny County here in Pittsburgh. I am studying in multimedia, but the dream is to be out there making much more films and being more of an actor because I am an actor as well. I have participated in the 48-hour film project here in Pittsburgh, and I had a small role in this film called Tooth or Consequences. I was just a messenger, but the line I delivered was just genius.
That's awesome, Darrell. Darrell, when did you first decide that you wanted to be a filmmaker?
When I was young, my life kind of revolved around television and the movies that I would see on my television every day. Just to see, just how the actors and the actresses would pull off their best act in like a situation regarding like a situation in the movie, and I just see how great they just put their back into it, and not to mention like the musical score in it because the musical score is kind of everything in the movie, not kind of like it is everything in the movie. So when my parents saw how interested I got into filmmaking and acting, towards the end of my middle school years, they got me involved in this film camp called the Joey Travolta Film Camp, which originates in Bakersfield, California.
What was your experience like there?
So my first year was in 2015, I believe. Yeah, 2015. At first, I was a bit nervous because like who wouldn't? Because you're about to be trained by some celebs. But yeah, I did meet plenty of good friends. I made plenty of good connections. Especially one of the stars of the Paramount hit Grease by the name of Barry Pearl. Very nice guy. He plays one of my favorite T-Birds, by the way, Duty.
That is so cool. So what kind of projects did you work on in Inclusion Films? The name of your summer camp, Inclusion Films.
Yeah, so the summer camp name was the Joey Travolta Film Camp, but it is run by Inclusion Films. My first film like in that camp, like I was just getting into acting, but I know I would progress given time and my experience at the camp. Um, if I can remember this correctly, the first film that I was in was called Blood is Reed. It was about these three friends that are dared by these three bullies to go into the school library at nighttime to find this book about a haunted ghost, I assume. And when we found it, we all ran scared because ghosts were following us. And one of our friends was one of our friends tripped, and we unintentionally left her there. And when we came back, she became a ghost.
What exactly do you love most about acting?
The thing that I love most about acting is meeting other people and doing a certain character and just having the passion and the character to do that sort of just to do that, like to portray like a certain person. And I'm hoping in the future that I'll have the privilege of having another role because I have the backstage, and I recently applied for this role over in Atlanta, Georgia. This film is called The First Date, and it's about this black man who goes on a blind date with this white woman, and this is actually the first time that either one of them are dating outside of their race. And the black man, he feels unsafe about this date, and he got tricked into it. and his name is Aaron, and the lady, her name is Kelsey. She doesn't know what other people outside of her race go through until she actually sits down with somebody.
Could you talk to us what it was like growing up with autism?
Of course, I don't remember the age, but I remember at a very young age I was diagnosed with autism, and when it came to me, of course, I don't know if everyone else had to go through this, but my parents were able to get through it and help me and give me the proper resources I needed when I was still young and growing up. But as I matured over the years, I became to be much more high functioning than I was when I was younger. And here I am right now, 20 years old, having my own apartment, producing a good film that hopefully my subscribers and the other people out there will enjoy.
What do you love most about how your parents helped you when you were growing up?
I really loved how they kind of encouraged me not to give up when I really felt like um doing that, because sometimes when I was younger, autism did have its pros and cons kind of outweighed the pros in a way, because given how like I would react to situations, like especially the top constantly bullied, people, like especially in school, like the funny thing is at school is when you're being bullied at school, especially when you have autism, they wouldn't see the other person doing it, but they immediately like have their eyes set on you when you react. That's something that I've always like hated when I was like in school, like when I'm like constantly provoked by someone, and when I do something, they say, "Oh, why would you do that? He's doing nothing to you. You didn't even see what he did. You're concentrated on your phone. You're not even looking at what he's doing." So that's some of the obstacles that I have had to face a numerous amount of times.
What did you do to help keep your self-confidence up?
So the only thing I could do, because I went to Taylor Allderdice High School, I was constantly bullied there in almost every shape and form. Not everything. The vice principal of the school, he always like lectured me on, oh, ignoring this, ignoring that, but it just kept on going. And so eventually for the sake of my own mental health, I had to leave that school, and then I ended up going to like private schools in Pittsburgh. Of course, I met some good friends there, very good friends up to this day. So I ended up moving to Avalon, PA, and which in Avalon, there's this school, like a mainstream school called Northgate High School, and I have met plenty of friends in Avalon, and I wanted to go there. However, this special director, she really underestimated me. She clearly had no idea who I am, so she wanted to like test me or whatever by enlisting me in another private school. Things went well, and she still didn't think I had it in me. So I went to this other one over in Zelienople called St. Stephen's. Things went well there slightly because there were some staff who really don't have the ability to read, because they know one of my triggers is when I'm getting restrained. So of course, like when I'm restrained, I kind of fight back, because I've had a history of people restraining me when I was younger, and I always fought back. So the director over at Northgate, or whatever her role is, she still didn't think I had it in me. So, but I made tremendous good grades, and aside from the restraints, I was a really well behaved person. So I did go to this other one over in Etna, PA, called Wisca. Yeah, Wisca. It was affiliated with the first private school I went to called Friendship Academy. Things went well there. But yeah, I did graduate from Northgate, even though I feel like I didn't, because I didn't attend the school at all. Not once, and I did graduate from the other crap school too. And yeah, I have diplomas from both schools.
If a teacher was in a situation where they were dealing with you and you were starting to get frustrated or whatnot, how do you think they should have dealt with the situation instead?
They could have at least tried to prevent, like they could have avoided like a restraint, because a restraint can only be done if I'm a threat to myself or other people, and I was not a threat to anybody.
It's a violation of privacy and personal space for people who you are not related to restrain you when you're not causing a threat to yourself or others. Whereas I can see, you can imagine that if it was in a situation where the classroom had neurotypical people and a kid who was refusing to comply was restrained by a teacher, then it would seem more like an abusive situation. So that must be really hard to go through, to see that difference, that dichotomy there.
But as I said, it's over now. I'm in CCAC, Community College of Allegheny County. Of course, it's mainstream, but of course, I met plenty of good people there, really nice professors. Most of them are even interested in the film that will be coming up soon that I'm still directing and producing.
That is awesome. So this is your first film, and it is a fully professional film.
Well, I had done like a film in the past called Decisions, but we didn't have much of a crew, but it still came out good. But in a way, yes, this is my first film with more professionals and more equipment than we had last time. And I'm really glad with the crew and the cast that I came up with, especially the cast. Like I have never seen this much talent like that I've done in a while. And sometime after the fan film was edited and all that, I would really like to do like a documentary on the film with me and like a separate interview thing, and we just munch it together on in one video and just talk about our experience on set and talk about our characters and stuff like that. They talk about their experience on set and how maybe they can relate to their character, stuff like that.
That is awesome. It's awesome. So what made you decide to go ahead and start your first film, your first professional film?
Last year, actually back in 2019 around Christmas time, I was in the process of writing this film, and I actually took my time on this one, just like I did with Decisions. I needed to make sure that this character would say this and this character would say that. But of course, when I got the script out and during like the pandemic, this script went through a lot of revisions that I can count, especially with the awesomeness of the actors and the crew. Well, a few of the crew and most of the actors would come to me and just say that, "Hey, I have a suggestion," because but they would ask me first, like, I like that because they told me that if it's gonna make the film look better, then yes, I would like to hear this. And all of these suggestions, everything they actually provided actually made the script better. And we're on our Omega script now because I have said this is the last script multiple times, and they've all told me that it's not the last script until we like get it done. Like that is true.
It's awesome that you're going through this really cool collaborative process, and it seems like you have a really open, respectful view of handling your job as a director.
And during post-production, as everybody's getting paid, I'm going to try to do what I can do to collaborate with people to see what I can do as far as red carpet premiere. As far as, and I've had people ask me about that, like how much would be tickets, and given the certain film that like the type of film that I'm doing, I cannot charge for tickets because I've put that poll up on my Instagram, like, are you doing a red carpet premiere for this top secret fan of yours? How much will tickets be? Like, given the sort of film it is, I can't really charge for tickets. And I doubt that gives them an idea of what type of fan film I'm doing, but what type of film I'm doing anyway. But when I have a teaser trailer out, maybe by the end of the month or something, or sometime in September, we'll see.
Yeah, you'll be able to give some more info about what this film's really about. It won't have to be a top secret.
So my plan is right after I release a teaser, I'll do a follow-up video basically saying, yeah, I kept this from you guys for a long time, for over a year now. Yes, I'm doing a film like this, and I'm gonna go over with you, like what else that you guys need to know and how perhaps you guys can help in a way. We'll see.
Well, Darrell, you said that with your career, the best has yet to come. So my question for you is, when the best comes, what will the best look like, the best part of your career?
Well, in the future, I would like to pursue like stuff like being an actor in like major films. Like for right now, I do what I do and start locally first because that's how most of these big time actors like Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson started out. Because like, well, yeah, well, if you take Samuel L. Jackson for example, he didn't get his like lead role in a film until he was like 45, I believe. And
Oh
before
wow.
that, he was having a regular job, like being like I believe it was being a dishwasher, I believe. But yeah, so like I started out like as a I started working at a pizzeria by folding boxes for um it was like $10 a day. And this guy who was my boss, well, I still kind of go there every now and then to help them out because like we have history because I started this back in high school. And I started working at this cookie shop over in Avalon. I still kind of work there to help out because the boss over there, she really loves me. And then I started working at a retail store. I just quit that job though. I gave them my 2 weeks notice because I'm working at a historic movie theater here in Pittsburgh called The Manor.
I got one last question for you, Darrell. What advice would you give to teens with special needs, especially those who want to go into the arts?
For to everyone who is actually considering going to Teen of the Arts, if you're really passionate about it, I would say go for it and don't like listen to all feedback when you're in the field because that feedback can really help you improve because over the years I've received feedback about because I was an amateur I was an amateur at acting at first. I'm still learning. It was the feedback, good and bad, that got me like where I am right now. And I still have much to learn. And if you're, as I said, if you're really passionate about it, just go on and do it. Like just push yourself to it. But my additional advice would be don't throw all your eggs in one basket because you would have to take it one step at a time. Like like if you're going into acting, like have some private lessons first with somebody because there are lessons on this website. I would recommend a teacher by the name of Rebecca Litton. Um, I'm gonna try to get my lessons with her, but she really taught a really good friend of mine who is actually starring in my film. Her name is Valina Zatello. Really nice girl. She is really she's really talented. One of the best people I've ever met, honestly. But still, that's my advice. Push yourself to the limit and just keep going. If you're really determined in going into the arts, and just don't be afraid to ask for help, especially in this sort of field.
Uh-huh. That's great advice, especially the part of don't be afraid to ask for help. That's something I remind myself of. Um, and also I have a bonus question here. So if you were to talk to someone who's getting bullied in high school, especially someone who has autism or condition or some kind of disability, what would be your advice for them?
I would say speak to your like your guidance counselor there because when I was in Alderdice, that was the only people who actually cared. Speak to your guidance counselor, and they should be able to help you. Maybe try to relate to how you're feeling and try to give you the best help they can for you to navigate through the school peacefully without fear of getting bullied from people because these people at school like most of these bullies exist is because they have issues of their own and they feel justified in like spreading that around to everybody else just to make themselves feel better about themselves. And yes, I know that's true because I have seen that firsthand.
Well, Darrell, it was awesome talking to you.
Likewise, Gina, thank you very much for having me.
Voices, Texas, listen to